You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis, and today we are playing Jesse the Body Ventura Wrestling Superstars.
Oh boy.
That's a mouthful. How's this game going to hold up? Is it going to get a play it forever? Woo! Or a future endeavor?
You're fired!
We're also diving into WWE 2K22 MyGM Mode, the women's roster reveal, and even more superstar ratings.
And don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod, and check out the exclusive content we're creating for you at patreon.com/GameMarksPod. What's up, my friend George? How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, I'm still feeling a little something from playing Wrestling with Emotions last week, and we did our little playthrough, which is on YouTube now. How are you feeling about that game?
I gotta say, the concept of it, I'm pretty sure we talked about it in the episode. I know for a fact we talked about it in our playthrough. There's not a whole lot of games like that in the wrestling world, and I don't know why. I mean, obviously, because it's not necessarily like a stereotypical wrestling game, but like it's wrestling adjacent, but the art style was super cool. I still think that's like the biggest takeaway about like how cool just like those like very clearly like hand-drawn illustrated assets were for the whole game, like even down to the stickers. I had a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time. Like I said last week, it's one of those games where it's like an E-Bombs World video or Newgrounds where your friends come over and you're like, check this out, just play this 15 minutes. Just see what you come up with. And yeah, and that's that. So that's why it got a good old play it forever from both of us. But we got a lot of WWE 2K22 news here. They revealed a full video, the Ringside Report 2, on the MyGM mode, which looks pretty damn cool. Now, I've mentioned many times before, I'm not a GM mode guy, but I'll give it a shot. It gives it a little longevity here where you don't have to just play through Universe or the Rey Mysterio stuff. You could do whatever you want, really. And I think that's cool, and I hope they refine it and it's even better moving forward. But the whole thing is voiced over by Stephanie McMahon, and then you get to choose Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, Stephanie, Shane, or a custom GM. Is Shane gonna get the future endeavored here or what?
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
But it is also different from Elite GM, so you do have two different sides of the spectrum here. But you're pretty much in control of your brand, and you could pick any of what we just said. You can create your own GM. I think that's the coolest part. We could create ourselves and do AIF and Clash brand, which I think is pretty cool.
So this was actually, like, as I was watching through this video, I know that neither one of us have ever really been big MyGM players in the past, but I know that we said that we're going to do separate playthroughs, make our own content, both on the YouTube channel for our playthroughs and our opinions of everything that's happening with the game. But I was going to suggest that maybe you and I do a joint playthrough of MyGM and kind of book it together and see if we can kind of do a GMP64 Clash brand, anything is feasible brand in the MyGM mode together.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. There's also Universe mode where we could probably take that even further. So pretty much you're trying to draft a balanced roster and you get a budget. I think it's somewhere over like 25 million or something like that. Not 25 million, I'm sorry. Like 2,500,000. And you get like objectives. I saw one that was actually pretty funny. It was like, don't book Nia Jax this week, which is funny for a million different reasons.
Yeah. We'll not get into that right now.
You get the whole, like the arena locations, the show logistics and all that. And you get to choose the match types, the production. I think it's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking to see what you could actually like dive into and what kind of shows you can create. Because obviously, I think the big one most people are going to do is like bring back ECW or something, and I'm probably going to do that myself.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am walking into this game pleasantly optimistic. I know that there's a lot of people who are critiquing it with a very fine tooth comb, and they're going through every single little detail. But you know, I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that it's gonna be DOA from the get-go, because it already looks better than 2K20.
Yeah, everything. Some of the moves aren't maybe as fluid as they should be for a wrestling game, but we've also haven't seen the final gameplay. We don't know how long these videos, like how long ago they were recorded and whatnot. But I think it's going to be fine. We're going to give it a shot. One thing that was weird that was kind of discovered on Twitter was the PC version is actually like the PS4, Xbox One version, not the PS5 version. Which is really just, when it comes down to it, it's just graphics. But that's the version we're going to get. So I guess we'll see if it's anywhere different from those. Because obviously we have the capabilities.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm curious to maybe see if, as time goes on, if we get more information as to why this is the case here. I have to imagine there's some reasoning. It's not just it's easier to port the Xbox 360 version than like the One S. But I don't know. There's got to be some kind of logic behind it. I can't imagine that a developer is going to intentionally shoot themselves in the foot and give a large fan base a lesser version of the game without there being a good reason behind it.
Yeah, there's got to be something. I don't know, but we will see. We saw Brock's entrance, which looks so cool with Paul Heyman behind him. I think so smart having babyface man bun Brock in the game, because it looks like, I thought I was watching like a clip. Like I looked quickly on my phone. I'm like, oh, Brock's there with Paul Heyman again. But no, it was the game. So that's how good it looked. That's how great Brock looks in this game. Like just like himself.
You know, they mentioned several times throughout every video that we've seen that the lighting was really the biggest overhaul for the immersion. And man, it's hard to disagree with them. Like it really is just like on a whole other level this year. Like it feels like a different game. It looks similar to past years, but it's got that little something extra.
It hits different. Is that what it is? It's different.
Yeah. I guess.
I'm looking at the roster right now on their website to see some ratings here. And you know what's funny? Everyone has a rating except Damian Priest. There's just not one there.
Huh.
But this is actually interesting. I think they've been doing this the past few years where the women get actual ratings. Remember like years ago, like Day of Reckoning and all that? You could have like intergender matches and they would just rate the women in like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Like now at least they all have actual ratings.
Like Charlotte's a 90 and China's 87. And
I think so far Becky's the highest with 92. Charlotte's a 90.
On the female roster.
Makes sense.
I think Brock's like 94.
Yeah, that's what I'm
overall.
saying. Yeah. We did see the women's roster reveal video, which was kind of cool. It had Raquel Gonzalez, Natalia, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Shayna Baszler. Everyone looked true to form. No complaints for me.
No, I try. Here's the thing. I'm trying to pick this apart because I wanna really be critical of this game, because this game is, you know, we talked about it before we even saw any in-game footage of this yet, where this really is gonna kind of set the landscape for the next couple of years of WWE games. So this kind of has to be big. Like it kind of has to be a banger of a game. Otherwise, I don't know what the future of WWE video games holds.
Yeah, it really does have to hit different, or else there's just no point, and it's gonna go away then. And we don't want that.
No.
But not much else happening in the wrestling video game world as far as we could see. Virtual Basement still doing virtual basement things, and Yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying what they've been playing lately. Let us know what it's been, whether it's this, Retromania. We're looking forward to part 2 of the Retromania story mode coming, hopefully this year.
Listen, I wanted to throw this out there. For those of you who may be into like the Diablo-esque gameplay, it's been a while since we talked about anything like this. But Lost Ark released, and I would like to know if anyone out there is playing it and what your initial feelings are of the game itself. Because have you heard anything about Lost Ark? Do you know anything about it, John?
A few of my friends are playing it. Yeah, I actually thought Horizon looked pretty good.
Oh, dude, if you haven't played the first Horizon game, you have to go out of your way to play it. It's unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, maybe that's on the list after I finally start whatever the hell that other one is. What is it? Death Stranding.
That's right. I was like, Days Gone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Days Gone. After Death Stranding. So you never know. Could be it. But all right, Georgie, well, are you ready?
Is it time?
Are you tiptoeing towards the governor of California? Was that what it was, California, or?
Yeah, I don't like any part of that sentence that you just said. So
it was Minnesota. It was Minnesota.
We're gonna plug in. We're gonna put on those nostalgia goggles. We're gonna stop confusing
that was Arnold
Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura. We're gonna put on the nostalgia goggles, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this deep dive into this week's game. All right. You good? You're right.
I'm good. I was confusing my wrestling games. I was thinking it was 2K. What was it, 16 or?
Where Arnold has Terminator entrance.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse the Body Ventura Wrestling Superstars. This week's game is brought to you by Megamark NYY Collector. This game is released. No, it doesn't have a release date. It has a planned release date. It's in 1992. This is a canceled game that we are playing this week. Published by DreamWorks, developed by Human. You know, maybe you heard of them. They made the Fire Pro Wrestling series. This game is available on the Sega Mega Drive and the Sega Genesis, only in ROM form. That is how we are playing this game this week. Full transparency. Other games that are out in 1992, you've got WWF Superstars 2 for the Game Boy, WWF European Rampage Tour for the Amiga ST personal computer and Commodore. You've got WWF Super WrestleMania for the Genesis and the SNES. WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, Master System and the Game Gear and the SNES and the NES. Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden for the Mega Drive. Fire Pro Wrestling 3 Legend Bout for the PC. Super Fire Pro Wrestling 2 for the Famicom. John, the amount of games, one that released in 1992, but just from the games on this list, the amount of them that we've played already?
Mostly all of them. And yeah, all of the WWF titles, I think, are pretty much the same game anyway, with just little tweaks here and there. So,
yeah.
I guess that's how they got them all out in 92. I guess across the board, they were trying to cover all bases there. But Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden, that is what this game kind of became. So we covered that, I believe, 2 years ago on the podcast. So if you want to go take a listen to what Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden is all about, it is the Japanese version of this game. That was supposed to be the first ever American version of Fire Pro Wrestling. For some reason, they put Jesse the Body Ventura on it out of any wrestler. Maybe he was the cheapest. I don't know. And it just never came to fruition, and I'm not sure why. No one is.
Can you imagine if this game releases and it becomes a hit and it's like in 2022 we're playing
Jesse the Body
Ventura world? Yeah.
Become the governor today. DreamWorks announced this game at the Winter CES in 1991 and began advertising it in the spring and also in the Summer CES festival, but each time only released a couple of screenshots, so there was not much known about this game, other than that it was developed by Human, and everyone knew that they were the authors of Fire Pro, which is where everyone said, oh, wow, we're getting a Fire Pro in the United States. This is going to finally be cool. And The only thing to be released was a prototype ROM that you could still find today. It's pretty much everywhere. If you search this game, the ROM is very easily downloadable, and yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah, no hard hunting for this one. It's very throw it in the Google machine and you're pretty much good.
It's just weird.
There is one big difference between this and Fire Pro, though. I mean, there's a lot, but the glaring visual one is the health bars.
I think they're stamina bars. They're not exactly health bars, because there was times where mine went up and down when I was doing a lot of moves and throwing a lot of kicks and punches. So rather than in Fire Pro where you get that little like huff and puff animation where you're out of breath, I think it was just those 3 bars on the bottom that would go up and down, which is not a bad concept. But also, we're just not used to seeing health bars in any capacity in Fire Pro other than the timer that was in the middle.
Yeah, I was kind of mad about it. I'm like, this is a Fire Pro game? This is health bar. What the hell?
But it is the same roster and the same matches as Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden. And while it is by human, while it does look like a Fire Pro game, it's more flat, I think. It doesn't have much dimension, where a lot of Fire Pro games do have that, like, at least shadows and, dimension to it. This was very flat. Everyone looked almost the same other than their heads and just different color gear. And it doesn't exactly have that Fire Pro Wrestling timing-based grapple system. It's kind of, what would you say, luck of the draw?
It's, I don't even want to say it's luck of the draw. It's just kind of like button mash, and sometimes, I don't even know, because there were points where we went for grapples and like you glitched halfway across the ring.
Yeah, but that's, I don't know, it's an unreleased game. That doesn't bother me as much because you kind of expect that.
Yeah, but I don't, there are times where you definitely should have had like a move done to me, and instead I hit you with a knee and you sold it like Shawn Michaels selling Hogan.
Yeah, that's true. But if we both like entered the tie-up, it wasn't like a struggle to see who hit it first. The move happened right away. And
like, there's no small moves.
Right,
Every move is like a power bomb or a brain buster or a pile driver or like a double underhook, like overhead slam. Like everything is huge.
Right, and I guess for Sega only having like 3 buttons, you don't have that much capacity. Fire Pro wasn't like as drawn out as it is now with the moves where you could press 2 for the finisher and all that. So this is what we got. They just threw big moves in there.
Did you try it? Because I tried it multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Of course I tried.
I was just like, is it these two? It's these two? It's these two? And then all of a sudden I was just like, you're running. You're not grappling. You're just running. I'm like, oh.
I love how you were trying that when you were doing Liger bombs from like the bell ringing.
Yeah. Maybe there was like a running Liger bomb.
What was up from there? I don't know.
A running one.
But all right, your game modes, you have the World Championship, which is based on a point system. And to qualify for the World Championship, you have to redeem 42 points, and 55 is the max amount. So once you hit that, you can get the World Championship. And then there's Unlimited Mode, which is also known as Exciting Mode in Retsuden, where it's just one-on-one exhibition matches, or you could do some tag team. Now, there were some settings in here that at first we weren't too sure about. There's also a lot of spelling errors in this game. So one of the settings, other than the time of the match, other than rope break, which is spelled like car brake, there was also rumberjack. Not lumberjack, rumberjack. And you think like, oh, what is there going to be? Carlo Weiss and all those guys outside the ring like my match last week? Sorry, not Carlo Weiss, whoever, Fat Pat and all them. No, lumberjack just means you can't exit the ring, which was fine because sometimes we cheaply use that to get away from our opponents, right, George?
Me and you, never.
Right, Monday Night Nitro, George?
We have never done that ever.
But the spelling errors are huge, glaring right in your face. It's like, come on, rumberjack and spell break right. It's you're one letter off.
Yeah, I mean, but also, if the rest of the game was good, I'll take the spelling errors. Remember the Liatha weapon?
Yes, I do. There's also an elimination match, which plays kind of like a tournament where each of us pick 5 wrestlers. I believe it was 5, right? And it's kind of like survival, where if my guy wins the first match, now he takes on George's number 2, and so on until there's a last man standing, or I guess a last team standing. which is kind of cool. It could take like 20, 30 minutes to complete one of those based on how quick the matches are, but it just gives you something else to look forward to. And there's also a handicap match, which is, you guessed it, a handicap match.
Wow, I can't believe that. Who would have guessed?
I don't know, but I kind of needed one of those. But all right.
The handicap match?
Yeah, so I could have won. But all right. Are you ready to dive into this roster?
I would actually like to do the roster this week.
You do the roster. While it's similar to Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden, there are a few names that are changed, so let us have it.
All right, so shock and awe, the first wrestler, Jesse the Body Ventura. What? Then you have Rockin' Ricky, Sumo Warrior, Death Hand, who is a little like Blue Liger, Blue Jushin Thunder Liger. You have Storm, Bone Breaker, Blade,
Braun
Marchin,
Breaker?
Not Braun Breaker, Bone Breaker. You have Blackjack Jones, who is a little Stan Hansen-y looking. You've got Stan the Man, who is just he's just Hulk Hogan. He's just Hulk Hogan. That's it.
They didn't change anything.
The very tan, the yellow and red,
the nose,
everything. You have Bomber and you have Flame, and Flame is very much Vader, just with like an inverted color scheme.
I liked Marchin, who was the luchador, kind of like Rey Mysterio before Rey Mysterio. I mean, this was 92. He wasn't what he was. He wouldn't be in a game, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, the what's it called? The avatars, the icons, the
like the character select screen. Yeah.
The artwork there is pretty good.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
That was like, oh, all right, maybe.
Especially for Sega. But like whatever the hell his name is. What is it? Death Hand. He has the Liger head, but then when you get to like the match, he's just in like blue trunks.
Okay.
What?
No, I mean it's I know. It was we set it up where it was going to be like, oh, you know what? The character select screen looks really great, and then it's just like,
yeah, and then the bell rings.
All the wind out of the sails. It's you get a Liger mask and blue trunks.
No, but Stan the Man looked just like Hogan, and I'm not that familiar with Jesse the Body Ventura, but I think his character model looked pretty cool. He had the purple and yellow stuff and the long blonde hair. I kind of more know him as an announcer, I guess. So for me, whatever. He looked cool. And Sumo Warrior was a big shocker to me because it's like a Yokozuna type avatar, and then in the match itself,
yeah, right.
It's like it's skinnier than like raw Yokozuna.
It's unbelievable.
It's just another regular wrestler with like a man bun.
And like he's got a 6-pack. It's crazy. It looks nothing.
It's everyone on AEW Dark in 2022.
Holy crap.
Well, all right, let's talk about the actual proposed artwork, I guess, because this never came out for this game, for the Sega Genesis.
A lot of red.
It's just a red background, Jesse the Body Ventura making a fist, and Wrestling Superstars trademarked, and that's really it with the Sega seal of quality. We can't read the back because I'm not sure if the back of this game ever even existed.
No, probably not.
Probably not. But the art style. We mentioned before that there was the bottom health bars. We mentioned the cool little, what's it called? The character select screen, but you get a nice matchup screen as well with those same icons. Everything's on a black background. And you get the 3/4 turned Fire Pro ring. Now, I'm impressed because it's the real way to do it, not the Super Brawl way to do it, so it actually makes sense. But other than that, there's really not much else to this game. I mean, the crowd wasn't recognizable. There's no entrances. The color palette's pretty limited. Kind of dull looking.
Oh, John.
Uh-oh.
You know what light bulb just went off in my head?
Uh-oh.
What's the name of the game?
Wrestling Superstars.
What's the name of the LJN rubber figures?
Wrestling Superstars. I just
for some reason, I was just like, I want to see if there actually was a back. So I just like quick Googled it, and the first thing that comes up is Jesse Ventura's Wrestling Superstar figures. I'm like, oh God, I didn't even make that connection. That's the name of the game.
But this wasn't associated with WWF or anything.
No, but I wonder if they were like trying to go for that. Like, hey, remember the Wrestling Superstars figure? Remember the guy with the bright pink?
Huh. Because it is the same ring.
Yeah.
The red, white, and blue ropes.
I wonder if that's the tie-in here.
It could be.
And maybe because they weren't able to get like a full license or anything with the WWF or LJN, they were just like, scrap it.
You might be onto something there. I don't know. That's a good thought. I would love to like contact someone, but I know that's like impossible.
Get Human Entertainment on the phone.
Yeah, but this is going to be a quick one, George. Did you know?
Oh, it's so weird when you don't cut me off before that.
Did you know a June 1991 issue of GamePro magazine claims that this game would have been out July of 1991? Now, we know that didn't happen, and I actually have the clipping here from the magazine, and it says, "Okay, fight fans, take on Jesse the Body Ventura and a main cast of video grapplers, wrestle the computer, wrestle a friend, or form a tag team against the computer. Each player has 20 holds," that's a lie, "such as the sleeper and the atomic drop."
Why are you wrestling the computer and wrestling a friend?
I don't know why there's two different forms there. And it says available July. Now there's another one that says, I don't know what magazine or publication this is exactly from, but it says, "Jesse the Body Ventura from DreamWorks. What's larger than Hulk and just as ugly?" Okay.
Damn.
Would you want to get into the ring with this guy? No holds barred superstar wrestling with head crushing action, play solo or with a friend. And that looks like a more bare bones ring even. There's no DreamWorks logo in the middle. So that's like a very early screenshot. Interesting.
I actually think I like it better without the logo.
I think so too, right? It's like cleaner. It makes the wrestlers stand out a little more, which is what we needed.
Yeah.
But there's also no ratings and reviews for this game because it was never released, so we can't really dive into that. And we could just do one thing, George. And that's our rating.
Our ratings? Oh.
Because right now, it's time to rate the game.
The game!
Are you going to let me go this week? You're going to let me go first?
I was just going to say, I like always try to anticipate leaving dead air for like the music to end. And then I try to like cut you off. But every time I like misjudge the length of dead air and the Discord delay. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do it. And then every time I'm like, all right, George Feis.
Like, all right. Jesse the Body Ventura Wrestling Superstars. Will you play it forever? For a future endeavor.
You're fired!
All right, so I got really excited coming into this game because we played UWC. And that was another unreleased wrestling game. And it actually was a lot of fun. This not so much. No, thank you. Future endeavor.
You're fired!
See ya.
All right, Johnny Clash. Now I turn it to you. Jesse, the Body Ventura Wrestling Superstars, will you play it forever or future endeavor?
Future endeavor. See ya. This game sucked.
You're fired!
Damn.
Now, I'm wondering if it would have been better if it came out, like if there was more that wasn't included in it, maybe those 20 holds that they were talking about. Because in Fire Pro Wrestling, when you have a guy on the ground, you could apply like a million different holds. And I think that's one of the unique parts of it. And it helps.
Yeah, this is like stomp or pickup.
That's it. Stomp, pickup, or pin. And I think it needed something like that. I mean, that helps me in all the Fire Pro games, and I couldn't do shit. Something that I thought was kind of weird with the title here, because Sega did this a lot. And off the top of my head, there was, Madden was a thing. Pat Riley basketball was a thing. I think it was Wayne Gretzky hockey, I think was a thing.
Yep.
And
Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
Right, but this is Jesse Ventura. Maybe if it was like Hulk Hogan, it would have been a little different, or Macho Man or something.
I was gonna say, give me Jake the Snake, but I guess
even Jake the Snake, yes.
I guess you want like a face.
But Jesse the Body Ventura Wrestling is not Madden. But I don't think you can't. What is the phrase? You can't strike lightning twice or some shit. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Yeah.
Madden was Madden. That was it.
I'm dropping something in the notes right now. If you want to scroll in our notes back up to the art style, I think I found like I guess this would be for the Mega Drive version of the game.
It says Genesis, but
well, then I found another version of it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same cover. It just has that green.
Because the Mega Drive, the pro wrestling for the Mega Drive also has that grid background.
Yeah. It's usually reversed though, right? Isn't it white on blue?
Oh yeah, crap, you're right. Well, I found that.
Thanks, George.
Hey, here to help. Or at least try to help.
But what I was going to say is Madden was Madden. Lightning doesn't strike twice, and Pat Riley basketball didn't work, and neither did Jesse the Body Ventura Wrestling. So,
yeah, that's a shame though. I always feel bad when we we've only done it twice, but when we play the the unreleased games and we're like, oh, this is getting a full like comparative release to every other full release game. It almost feels like close. A little unfair.
If a ROM's available, it had to be somewhat close to finish.
All right.
Maybe that's it didn't reach like quality control yet. We didn't pull out the dictionary and how to spell break yet.
All right. Well, with that, I think it's time for us to hop on over into some gaming news. What do you say, John?
Let's do it. Super Mario RPG might be getting a sequel sometime soon, as they said Paper Mario was tentatively titled Super Mario RPG 2, but we might be getting the full release. According to a new report, Eminem and Rihanna are apparently going to be featured in GTA 6, so they're pulling no punches with the budget there. The Uncharted movie hits $44 million and has the fourth biggest start for a video game movie in U.S. history, which is kind of cool.
Now, I want to jump in really quick because there's a rumor, not a rumor. The Rock's been hinting that he's doing a video game movie, and everyone's trying to figure out what it's going to be. And as of recording, no information has been released. So I wanted to know what franchise do you think that The Rock is going to be bringing to the big screen? Because I have an idea.
Well, he already did Rampage, which is a video game.
Let's go even farther than that. He did Doom.
And I don't know. I feel like he could just put together an action movie and be like, "Here's Call of Duty."
That's exactly what I think it is. I think they're going to do Call of Duty.
Why not? Like, why wouldn't they just make a cool action movie? Put some Easter eggs in there. Put like the guys walking through Superstore or something.
Yeah, Call of Duty works. I was thinking like, oh, maybe they go really out there and they do like God of War.
God of War would be great, and he would be a great Kratos. The Halo TV series will apparently show Master Chief's face. Now, everyone really had an issue with like his voice. I don't know. It sounded similar enough to me. Like that stuff doesn't bother me. I don't know. Let's see the show before we judge it. Like the Mandalorian has a pretty bad voice too, but everyone loves the show. It's a good show.
Whoa,
give it a chance.
Pascal?
Yeah, give it a chance. And Cortana as well, even though that is the voice actor for the original Cortana, I believe. But whatever. People need to start watching stuff before they judge it so hard. Look at Sonic. They cost Sonic millions.
But that Sonic 2 trailer, though.
Yeah, Idris Elba, Knuckles, hell yeah.
Ooh, give me that.
But all right, games releasing this week. Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, February 22nd. Ghosts, February 22nd. Soul Cresta, also February 22nd. Guess what else is February 22nd? Tiny Combat Arena for the PC. Edge of Eternity, the cloud version for the Switch. Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster on the PC on February 23rd. Martha is Death on February 24th. Never Alone Arctic Collection for the Switch on February 24th. Elden Ring on February 25th.
Oh, baby.
Also on February 25th, Grid Legends. Now, something else that was pre-ordered that was supposed to be out this month is the Steam Deck. Maybe we'll get some more news on that, I hope.
Did you? You didn't pre-order that, right? We don't have any.
No, I didn't pre-order that.
I know. We know someone who did, though. Master of all Game Marks podcast music, Max Klein.
Oh yeah?
The other Max that makes our music, that's not Max Caster, pre-ordered it, and I am going to do a little one-on-one with him when he gets it to get his thoughts and see what he thinks, get some first-hand experience.
All right, yeah, because it's one that I would get. Like the Switch, I don't really want because those aren't the games I play, but a Steam Deck, hell yeah. Even if I play Roller Coaster Tycoon on the train or something, that would be great.
Now, do you know what a big deal Elden Ring is?
Nope.
Okay, so do you know what Dark Souls is?
Nope.
Do you know what the Bloodborne series is?
Nope. Ask me next. Do you care?
Have you ever heard of Sekiro?
Nope.
Okay, do you know who George R.R. Martin is?
Yes.
Okay, so Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring. These are all games that Hideka, I'm going to butcher his name.
Isn't that the Game of Thrones guy?
Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin working on a game. And it's Elden Ring, and the hype behind it is unreal, and the game looks sick, and a lot of hype behind it. It's probably one of the biggest expected games for the year. So be on the lookout. We're probably going to be talking more about that over the course of the next couple of months. But yeah, got anything else?
Yeah, we have some stuff before we get into the weekly schedule that I think we should discuss. And that's our Patreon, because we got some format changes coming. On March 1st, we are revamping the Patreon where we're not taking anything away. We are adding. So what we're adding to the $5 tier right now is a video version of the podcast. So this exact podcast you're listening to, you're going to get the video. So if there's something we're talking about, if you want to see George picking his nose or burping, this is for you. We have new shows. One of them's called OMG One More Game, where every month me and George are going to play something other than a wrestling game. It could be NHL. It could be Elden Ring. It could be Age of Empires. It could be anything. And we're going to bring that to you on Patreon. And also, friend of the pod, TK Wild, is getting his own show where he just does whatever he wants. Once a month, it's going to come out, and he's just going to do that cool guy shit. Now, a new segment is going to be on the Mega Marks tier, which is the top tier, where it's going to go in this episode, and me and George are going to have a debate topic about video games, and that debate topic is coming from the Mega Marks themselves. And, of course, there's going to be more merch, more giveaways, and just more fun.
I cannot wait. This is going to be something that we do probably once a year, if not twice a year, where we just kind of look back on everything that's happening, everything that we're making for our Patreon, and we just want to make sure that everyone's getting their money's worth and that we're putting best foot forward. And
yeah,
we want to be able to give the supporters of the podcast as much great content as we can.
Yeah, nothing's going away. The ad-free show is staying. It's also going to be video now. You're still getting the show notes. You're still getting Future Endeavor, Clash and Burn, all that. All right, but with that leaks into GMP 64 Season 2.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
So the Mega Marks are also going to have 2 Creator Wrestler picks, one for my brand, one for George's brand, and each get to submit a storyline. Now, March 1st, that's only a week and a half away, is going to be our official draft. Who are we going to pick? Who are you keeping? We get to each keep 3. We got our creative wrestlers. We got to announce it all. It's going to be great.
I've got my whole draft list
and now
laid out. I'm ready to go.
The difference between this year and last season, these shows are going to be monthly, not weekly, and they're all going to be live on Twitch. And the next day, they're going to go straight into our Patreon feed, so they live there forever. April 3rd is going to be our first event.
Well, listen. You voted on by the GMP 64 universe. We're crowned the victor of season 1, and I'm coming for that title.
Take it
for
easy.
Season 2.
All right. Now I have my creator wrestler ideas, and I also have ideas for who I'm keeping from my last year's roster, and I'm ready to stomp all over you.
Oh, let's go. I'm ready for this. This is probably one of the best things that we do besides the podcast. We said it all last season, and I'm ready to start up season 2. You're going down, Clash.
And it's a fresh restart, championships and everything. But let's go through the schedule. This week, Monday, you're getting the show ad-free on Patreon. Tuesday, you're getting the show notes, and you're getting GMP Game Over when we play Feel the Bang. Wednesday, Future Endeavored on Patreon, where last week George Feis played Super Fire Pro Wrestling All-Star Dream Slam, and I will be playing the same game this week. Now, I thought I played that game forever, but apparently not. So we'll see. We'll see my actual thoughts this week.
Good luck with that.
All right, George, what are we playing next week?
Next week on the podcast, we are playing Fire Pro Wrestling 2 for the Game Boy Advance, thanks to Mega Mark Brett Van.
Oh, okay. First one wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I always look forward to the Fire Pro Wrestling games when they're like the actual Fire Pro Wrestling game titles. With that, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast for all of our playthrough videos, exclusive content, and more, including this and every other week's game. Now, I also wanted to say, we have officially wrapped up Season 3 of Clash at the Feast.
I don't want to talk about it.
We're going to talk about that next week. We want to give everyone as much time as possible to watch the video on YouTube and see what happened. This was the most competitive season of Clash at the Feast that we had. I'm very, very happy with how this season went. But GameMarksPod.com/shop for all of our exclusive merchandise. ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod for all of our new shirt designs. And Patreon.com for all of the content. Patreon.com/GameMarksPod for all of the exclusive content that John just talked about. And all of the new stuff that's coming out. Holy crap, what a year this is going to be for our Patreon. Make sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Smack that subscribe button and leave us a 5-star rating or review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And if you have a product or service that you would like to advertise here on this podcast, please reach out to us at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. Another unreleased video game in the books, John. I think it's time for you to do that thing that you do.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future Endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the Clash at the Feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.